to send them off. Welcome back, another pre-season preview, and we're back in London today with the Blues, the reigning European champions, Chelsea. Joining me as always is my ever-present podcasting partner, Alex. How are you doing? Now I know, Alex, you had a bit of a soft spot for Chelsea back in your
I still
youth.
do. I still do a little bit. So I do keep Chelsea near to my heart. Not as near as Swansea, but you do still keep them there.
Not quite as near as our guest today.
It's a pleasure to have this guy back. Probably
heard him.
One of my favorites from last season. One of my favorite episodes we did last season with this guy. So needs no introduction, even though he's got one.
We're gonna give one.
Yeah, exactly.
One of our good friends of the podcast, the Football Explainer. He's wearing a Juventus shirt to a Chelsea season, but he has got a Chelsea shirt behind him, so we will let him off. How are you doing, mate? It's good to have you back.
I'm doing well. How are you guys doing?
Not bad.
Yeah,
that's twice in a row.
Yeah, I know. Twice in a row we've been asked. Yeah. I like this.
Thank you.
A strong finish. A strong finish.
Excited to do this one. European champions. I mean, we're here for the Premier League, but we've got to sort of gloss over that a little bit. I know for
the last time we came on, because we were talking about like your footballing memories, and you were talking about Chelsea winning the Champions League. How did it go this time around for you? What did you get up to this time?
I can answer that, given the voice note he sent us.
I remember that.
Yeah, lads. What I can say is, first of all, I'm so glad you brought up the Champions League thing, because I was thinking, if these lot don't bring up the Champions League thing, I might have to leave straight away. So I'm glad you brought that up. But second of all, it was excellent. It was just excellent. Like, imagine your team. Like, imagine you, Alex, and you, Sam, your team, and you're looking at them on a screen, and they're the best side in Europe, the best side in the world at that time.
When we beat Valencia, we were the best side in Europe, when we are.
Yeah, well,
2013.
I can't picture that cup in the hands of a person wearing a Swansea shirt, I'm afraid.
With like Leon Britton holding the cup.
Yeah. It's probably bigger than him.
No. So yeah.
No, but it was great. It was great, to be fair. Like, that celebration was just like, I wasn't in a place with loads of Chelsea fans, but I was with a couple of my Chelsea mates, and there was just loads of Man City fans everywhere. And it was just a great time. Just winning the Champions League is, like, surprisingly, it's a really good feeling. It's a really good feeling knowing you're the best team.
Strange, really weird, you know.
And I also have this to remind myself of it every single day. Just got this as my background. Champions of Europe.
That's going to stay for at least
for
the
season. Purpose of the audio podcast, TFE is showing us his phone lock screen.
It's the
proper
Chelsea,
like 13-year-old.
Yeah.
We rate it though. We rate it. He's just passed his uni. He smashed uni, and he's got 13-year-old vibes in his phone. We rate it. We love to see it.
We do love it. Anyway, we are here to talk about the Premier League. I suppose we've started this place on a lot of these previews, but I want to talk about transfer business. Only one signing so far, I think, and it's the sign of the season, I think, Marcus Bettinelli. Absolute sign of the season. But no, obviously the rumours coming out today that there's a bid for Lukaku to bring him back. How do you feel about that?
Haaland's been thrown around as well, but we'll start with Lukaku.
I have a feeling Lukaku is instead of Haaland, because
it might
proving a bit impossible at the moment.
Yeah, I personally, I don't think Haaland is... It's probably not best if we spend 150 million on Haaland. Like, I understand we've got the money, and he's genuinely, like, I know this word gets thrown about a lot, but he genuinely could be a generational player. So, like, putting 150 million on him is a great investment, because really and truly, if he flops a little bit, you can still sell him for like 80, 90 million. And that's like the worst case scenario. But getting a striker in is so important for us. I put a video out today of how Chelsea can have like a 10 out of 10 transfer window. And I said either get Lukaku, but not for some ridiculous price, or get Lewandowski. Now that's the guy that I really, really would love us to get. Like, if we got him, I'd be so happy, because obviously, like, best striker in the world right now. But he's 33. It's not like he's going to cost. I don't think he would cost as much as a Lukaku. Like, he probably wouldn't move, but I think Lewandowski would be the guy I would go for. Harry Kane, obviously, I'd love us to get Harry Kane as well, but like, that's probably never going to happen because Chelsea Spurs. He's probably not going to make that move. But yeah, striker is definitely a position that we need to fill, and centre back. But really and truly, I don't know how much we really need strikers, because if say nothing happens, we have our amazing signing of Bettinelli and that's it, and we have Kai Havertz up front, I still think we can kind of get away with it. Like, winning the title, maybe not without his like top striker, but like, we could still go deep in the Champions League again, and we can still compete for the title. I wouldn't say challenge for the title, but definitely compete for the title. Like Manchester United last year.
Like,
It's interesting you said Havertz though, and not Werner. That's what I picked up on there. What's your thoughts with Timo Werner?
As in, like, he's proven he can score goals in the Bundesliga, but I'm not sure how much faith I have in him putting the ball in the back of the net, because for a good year and a bit, he wasn't able to do that for Chelsea. He came back again against Arsenal. I know it's a preseason friendly, but he missed a sitter there again. And Kai Havertz, on that exact same day where Werner missed a sitter, scored a brilliant goal against Arsenal. And I'm thinking, if I've got to put number 9 there, it's either Tammy Abraham or Kai Havertz. And Kai Havertz will be my man. I think he has the potential to score 20 goals and get like 10 assists. Do I think it's going to happen next season? Probably not. But he definitely has a potential to like put up some ridiculous numbers up front.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
It's interesting. You picked up on that, Al. I picked up on that you need a centre back. And we did the Crystal Palace preview the other day. And Mark Guehi. And all right, he might not be top of the table quality just yet. But for me, I mean, we obviously saw
a lot of him,
and the man has my heart. Put it that way.
He has a special place in our, doesn't he? He is a
player, and you've let him go. So I just wondering your thoughts on that, really, from because I think a lot of our listeners are probably going to be Swans fans. We get that sort of angle because we're not getting a Premier League preview anytime soon.
Inshallah, one day, lads. No, I don't know. The Guehi and Tomori thing, like we sold 2 decent young English centre backs for like, I don't know how much it would be, like 40, 50 mil. And I'm kind of in the minority of thinking like, it's okay. We've got a buyback clause on Mark Guehi. I don't know if we do on for Tomori.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
I think it's like what we had on Ake, where it's like if somebody comes in for a bid, we can match them, and if we match them, then we can take him.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, centre backs, I don't know if Mark Guehi would have made the starting 11 or made the squad even, because he gives me Christensen vibes before Christensen was good. Like, he's a decent centre back, but he has the potential to come into a very good defensive side and make it better. So would I have sold him? Probably not, but I'm not too worried that we sold him, because really and truly, he's probably fighting for a position with Kurt Zouma, and Kurt Zouma probably gets on that side every single day of the week. Yeah. But obviously, like, you don't win a league based on 11 players. You need 25 players. So I can understand why people are upset that we lost Mark Guehi, but in reality, it's probably not the worst thing in the world, because you got a decent fee for it.
Yeah,
I think that's a good point.
I mean, for us, he was such an important player. But I suppose for Chelsea, he's not going to come near that.
It's not the same sort of thing.
Yeah.
The reason we sort of could see him going back there was sort of as an experience to learn from the likes of, Thiago Silva or, whoever else like that around the club. So we thought it'd be good for him to go back, pick up the experience and probably fight his way into the team, alongside an experienced head like Thiago Silva. But, it's business at the end of the day. And that's what it is. It's like you said.
And Chelsea are like, don't get it wrong, you're going to do loads of these previews. And I can say with my chest, my team Chelsea, even though we're a Juventus stop, but my team Chelsea, the most ruthless team in the Premier League. Like, Kurt Zouma had a fantastic start of the year last year, and now he's getting like sold to Sevilla for Koundé. Like, there's no top team in the Premier League that would have a centre back who did so well in the first half of the previous season and then sell him the next year. And we're getting rid of Tomori, even though he was great for Lampard. We're getting rid of Guehi, even though he was great for Swansea. Like, I have full trust in Marina Grahamskaya, our director of football, like our transfer director, because she just seems to hit every time. And although it might seem like, oh yeah, Guehi could have learned from this player, Tomori could have learned from this player, and I agree, he probably could have. I don't mind that it's happened, because I feel like there's a bigger plan. Like, we're getting rid of all this, not deadwood, but quality player that we can get a decent fee for, so that we can get the big price, a Haaland or a Lukaku or a Lewandowski. Yeah.
It is, and that's what it is. It's business, and Abramovich is a smart guy.
So
and he's a very rich guy too.
Yeah. So obviously last season, Thomas Tuchel came in around January, I think it was, wasn't it? Finished 4th in the end, which, to be honest, I didn't think was too bad. I mean, you won the Champions League, so I suppose a league finish doesn't really matter when you win the Champions League.
When you win the Champions League, you can finish 19th, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about 19th.
Well,
going down.
17th.
Wigan vibes, proper Wigan vibes. That.
I mean, I can only see them finish in top 3 this year, personally. Maybe United and City ahead of them, maybe them ahead of United. I came into last season saying Chelsea going to win the league. and I think I might well be going into the season, depending on if they could bring in Lukaku or Haaland, but probably Lukaku. I might be sitting there and saying, I think Chelsea are going to win the league again.
Yeah, I think we're in such a weird position where if you don't get Lukaku, people will say that we probably won't win the league. But I have I don't think we'll win the league if we don't get Lukaku. But because of Tuchel and because of the amazing quality we have, and also the fact that he's finally had like some time to actually be with the players. Like people forget that for the first 6 months, he played a game every 3 days. So he's not really getting that much training sessions in. Yeah. So he's had time to improve all these players. So regardless if we get Lukaku or not, I still think there's a chance of us winning the Premier League. If we don't get Lukaku, I think that chance diminishes like by a lot, but there still is a chance that we win the league. So, and you're talking about United and City. I don't think United are that much of a problem. I think Sancho will tear up the league, and I think Varane will be a decent partner for Maguire. But as long as you've got Ollie in that dugout, I'm sorry, you're not going to be doing bits next season.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's
very interesting. It's funny though because we're talking about like Mark Guehi and Tomori. Like, and I know we didn't call them Deadwood, but they're kind of like unnecessary players. Lukaku was seen as that kind of player a number of years ago at Chelsea. Sold him to, was it Everton? He went on loan to West Brom, then Everton, and then ended up, and now they come back in for him for an extortionate price. Can you see that happening with like Guehi or Tomori or whoever? Can you see that happening now with the players we've got now?
Definitely. I think Tomori proved it last year. Like he went to a top side in AC Milan. Like they are a top side now. They're not going through a transition anymore. They're a top side. And he was their second best centre back. Like he was their second best centre back like throughout the whole season. So like you're already seeing Tomori could hit those levels. And I think if he was playing in England, he would have gone to the Euros. So for sure, I think Tomori definitely has that potential. Guehi, I would say probably doesn't have the ceiling of a Tomori, but he still could definitely be like one of those cases where we're like, oh, why the hell did Chelsea sell him like 3 years ago? Like with Nathan Ake when he was coming through at Bournemouth, like why the hell would Chelsea sell him? Like these players are very good players, but I guess that's just the way the cookie crumbles. And we've seen that with Tino Livramento. He's one of our youth academy players, and a lot of our youth players are leaving now. Like Tino left this year, Tariq Lamptey left the year before that, Tomori's left this year, and so is Guehi. Like a lot of our youth is going away. So to answer your question of will it be like a Lukaku, De Bruyne, Salah situation, you very much could see that happening. I very much could see that happening.
Yeah. It's interesting. Earlier you said that you don't put that much faith in Timo Werner. I've actually got him earmarked here as my one to watch for the season.
I was going to say that because if it wasn't for VAR, you would have had, I don't know. I mean, I know VAR, scrutinizes the very, smallest millimeter, but I think he would have had an extra like 10. Was it 10 or so? I can't remember how many goals.
So, yeah, I just think he's due a big. I think he's due a big season.
Yeah,
I've got a feeling. I feel it in my bones, and I'd love him to have a good season though. I mean, I've put him in my fantasy team, so I hope he has a good season.
I think he's a nice guy as well.
I'd love him to do well. To be fair, like I think he could do very well, but like you say about like VAR, offside, all this sort of stuff. Like there was so many. It's not like he's just losing goals because of offside. Like that's a big thing, but he's losing goals as well because like in gilt edge opportunities, he's missing them.
Yeah,
like, he's missing. Well. Yeah, like, there was one against Fulham that like I don't think I'm ever gonna forget. Like he's clean through. All you need to do is open your body up and finesse it into the far right corner, and he like puts it over the bar. And I'm just thinking like, broski, like you're scoring worldies for RB Leipzig for 2.5 years, and then what? You come to Chelsea, you just can't put the ball in the net. But to be fair, his all-round gameplay is excellent. That's one thing I can say. Like, if Timo Werner's not on the pitch, Chelsea don't win the Champions League. So I can't talk like bad about his all-round gameplay. All I can say is that like his finishing leaves a lot to be desired. That's what I have to say personally.
I agree with you about the sitters. I mean, there's a few we missed this season, and I make statements like this all the time. It's a regular source of humor in my house that I'll watch like SAS Who Dares Wins, and I'll be like, I could do that.
I could do that. Yeah.
Like Ninja Warrior, I'll be like, I could do that. But like, I could say this as you said earlier with my chest that some of the opportunities Timo Werner missed last year, I would have put away. Like, and Alex has seen me play football, and that's saying something.
But it's true though. Like, I think he's going to benefit with Tuchel, having time with Tuchel and settling into the team properly now and feeling a bit more. Because I think with Lampard, he was, I don't want to say on edge. He wasn't quite settling.
I don't think Lampard had actually watched Havertz and Werner play before he signed them because he was.
Which is a football manager job.
Yeah, I just think he went, oh yeah, they look all right, didn't they? Or like he saw Werner's stats and Havertz's stats and went, yeah, we'll have him. Like, because he wasn't playing them the way they should have been playing. And as
Well,
soon as Tuchel came in, I think Werner's looked sharper for a start. I know he's not
Havertz
scoring, but he's not
looked like a much better player.
Exactly.
Looked like a much better player.
If you told me November, December that Havertz would win Chelsea the Champions League, I would have laughed you out of the room, quite frankly.
Yeah. No, but the thing is with Timo Werner, one positive thing that you're saying about like Lampard and Tuchel is that when Tuchel first came in, I think it was like a month and a half after the job, like Werner had only scored like one goal, and people were asking him about Timo Werner and his finishing, and he literally just said, Timo Werner does not need to stay out and practice finishing. Like, he knows how to score a goal. Yeah. He just needs to do everything else, and the goals will come. So, like, if the goals come, and that's a big if, because we saw what he did last year, but if the goals come for Timo Werner, this could be like Chelsea could go into the stratosphere. Like,
I was going to say, you won't need a Haaland, you won't really need a Lukaku, because if Werner's firing, then what's the point?
And if Werner and Havertz are on fire, then I think,
and even Ziyech as well. Even he is a quality player, absolute quality.
And you've got Captain America back this year, isn't he?
Yeah,
he was injured for a lot of it last year.
Yeah.
To be honest, I always love when Pulisic plays, because I love the memes.
Yeah.
You know, the memes are like, oh, it's such a rad game, dude. Like, oh, I love them. I just love them. Yeah, but I think going forward, I mean, I think you've got one of the best midfield threes in the world in Jorginho, Kante, and Mount, particularly in form. Form-wise, that's one of the best in the world, hands down.
And there's Kovacic, and there's Ruben Loftus-Cheek coming back. Ross Barkley,
and you got Ampadu back now as well.
Yeah, Ethan Ampadu.
I don't know about Ethan Ampadu, to be fair, but yeah, like, we've got a really good team. Like, now I'm thinking about it, like, my mouth's starting. Like, I'm starting to get like frothing at the mouth at the thought of Werner and Havertz like firing. If that happens, Chelsea could the ceiling for Chelsea is. There's no ceiling for them, basically. No. Like, I'm thinking in my head, bro, if you've got Werner on fire, who's creating chances all the time, and he starts putting the ball in the net, bro, you're beating teams in the Champions League. You do that in the Premier League, that will disturb Man United's defense, Man City's defense, Liverpool's defense. And now I'm starting to think, like, bro, if Werner can start scoring, Havertz can start scoring, these big ifs, bro, like, we could win the Prem, we could win the Champions League. Like, there's no reason for us to get beat on the day if Werner and Havertz are firing, because they're just such elite level players. But I say all this, and I don't think it's going to happen. I think Havertz will go to about from a 6 out of 10 to a 7 out of 10. And I think Werner will score like 10 goals max in the Premier League.
I was about to get excited then. I thought we were going to get a centre-half exclusive.
Yeah, no, I did as well.
Thinks Chelsea are going to do the treble.
And we could. That's the thing, because like when I said last year Chelsea could win the Champions League because we're not a team that people want to play on the day. Like, on the day, you don't want to be like you see on the Champions League final. Ruben Dias was not going this way. He was running back to his goal like basically 90 minutes of the game because Havertz was running him ragged, Werner was running him ragged. Like, nobody wants to play against that. And like, obviously, like, getting that consistency level is down to the manager and down to like everything else, but we have the quality on any given day to beat any team in the world right now, and I can say that with my chest.
I completely agree with that. Like, I'm looking at the team now and like thinking about it, this team does actually mean quite a bit of business. Like, it'll come up and it's a scary team to play.
The thing is, though, is last year you had 18 clean sheets, like City had 19 and won the league, but you scored 58 goals and they scored 83. And I think therein lies the problem. I know City scored a lot of goals and they are good going forward, but Chelsea just were almost too toothless, if you excuse the Welsh pronunciation of tooth. A bit toothless, like, going forward for too much of the season. And maybe you can sort of pin the blame on Werner. But, you know, if they get Lukaku in, if they get a striker in, could be a different story. Who knows?
And to be fair, you say like you pin the blame on Werner, but at the end of the day, like, he's not the only player on the pitch.
No.
Like, if you probably look at the numbers, I don't even know the numbers, but it's probably our top scorers are probably all on like 8 or 7 or 6.
Right, Jorginho with 7 goals. Yeah,
like all of them aren't really scoring goals. But then when I think about it, they're not all getting consistent minutes. Like, we don't have a consistent starting 11 until like the very end of the season when Tammy Abraham was completely frozen out, and it was just Werner, Havertz, and Pulisic, and Mount was injured as well. Like, we don't have a consistent lineup, so it's very hard for like people to score loads of goals. So my mind keeps on changing in this podcast, but I kind of do feel we need that out and out goal scorer that we don't need to rely on for all-round gameplay, but we just have somebody there to score goals, like a Sergio Aguero. Like you have all your little Raheem Sterling's, your Bernardo Silva's, Leroy Sané's, but as long as you've got your Agueros, like he'll put the ball in the net.
Yeah,
100%. Absolutely.
We are slowly running out of time on this one. So I just want to highlight the first five fixtures. So in those, you've got Arsenal, Liverpool, Tottenham. I mean, if we're still counting Arsenal as a top side,
well, I would have said Villa, Aston Villa.
Yeah,
you've got Villa for
well. You've got Villa there too.
Surely.
It's a tough start. But I suppose if you can beat the likes of Liverpool away, third game of the season, that's the signal of intent.
It's looking pretty good.
Yeah.
I definitely think we can. Like, the thing is, I actually do believe we can beat all those teams. Like, I feel like we literally could win like every single game for the whole season, right? But obviously that's not going to happen. But if Tuchel has done some magic in preseason, which I believe is very like within the realms of possibility, like Chelsea could start the league winning all 6 games, beating Liverpool, Tottenham, Arsenal, Aston Villa, whoever they put in front of them. And then that'll be a marker to the rest of the league. Like, oh shit, like these guys aren't like messing about. But then again, you could also have Chelsea flopping because Tuchel doesn't know what he's doing. So if I had to put my neck on the line, I'd probably go all in and say like Chelsea are going to win their first 5 games of the season. And then people are going to be like, oh shit, like these lot aren't messing about. Like Werner scoring goals, Havertz is scoring goals. These lot aren't messing about.
So just before we finish, somebody's decided to mow.
Someone's knocking. Oh, have they? I thought they were knocking the door.
No.
One second. I think they're knocking at my door.
Are they actually?
I think they are actually. Yeah. So, well, let's send him off. You just don't know. You don't know.
Sorry, guys. That's so professional.
Fine.
It's all right. Don't worry. We're not professionals. It's fine. Yeah, I'm asking everybody who comes on 2 questions. First of which, you finished 4th last year. Put your neck on the line. Give us a prediction.
I'm gonna have my own Prem predictions coming out at some point, but like on the spot, heart on the line, I'm gonna go all in. I'm gonna say Chelsea win the league.
He's gonna go top, yeah.
I'm gonna go Chelsea win the league.
I'm
gonna say Chelsea win the league.
Highly rated.
Secondly, player to watch. I have a feeling we probably covered your answer, but
you know, genuinely who I think is gonna be. So I'm gonna mix my predictions. So I'm saying we're winning the league. Okay, so that's the positive done. The negative, well, not negative, but player to watch, Tammy Abraham. If we keep Tammy Abraham and Kai Havertz doesn't start scoring at the start of the season, and Romelu Lukaku's not here, Haaland's not here, Tammy Abraham's going to slot into the side. He's going to get us a nice little cheeky 10-11 goals this season.
I seem to remember the last time TFV was with us.
Yeah, I was waiting for this.
Tammy Abraham got quite a bit of abuse on this podcast from him. So
it's nice to see it.
Apology to Tammy Abraham.
Not that he's listening.
Mr. Tammy Abraham, I'm sorry. I did you wrong. I didn't mean to do that. I was high on life at that point. I didn't mean what I said. I fully rescind what I said about you. You're an excellent goal scorer. You're not, what's the word? Prolific in front of goal. You're an excellent football player, and I wish I was you. I take everything back, and you're the best striker in the world.
We will tweet that and tag.
Yeah, that's going on TikTok.
We will tag Tammy Abraham. But thank you so much for joining us. Would you like a couple of minutes? Well, not minutes, moments. We don't go minutes. Just to plug where people can find you.
Find me on TikTok, The Football Explainer, and go subscribe to my YouTube channel because at some point when I'm not lazy, I'll start posting on there and you'll enjoy the content. So yeah, The Football Explainer on TikTok and YouTube.
I do enjoy your TikTok lives.
I love his TikTok. I do. I really do.
I enjoy the lives. I just sit there and watch them. It's just like, it's like watching this and but I'm not having to do any work. That's what I feel like. Anyway, yeah, cheers for joining us, mate. Thank you for coming back. It's
Appreciate
been a pleasure.
Always a pleasure having you on. Yeah,
always. We're hoping to see you a couple more times this season, and actually, we have another season preview to do with you. But yeah, until next time, thank you guys for listening. Alex, I'll see you in 5 minutes, but for the purposes of the podcast tomorrow.
I'll see you tomorrow. Yeah.
Ta-ra, guys.
Take care.
Bye.